I'm sorry, operator, I can't hear you.
Hey, I'm talking here, dude.
By the way, folks, this story that I'll be telling is the biggest lesson I learned in my life. And it's not what can happen, what will happen to you if you insist on putting your happiness on hold.
Yeah.
In 1986, I was headlining Rodney Dangerfield's comedy club every single weekend in 1986. Now, this is when Rodney was at the pinnacle of his career. He was voted one of the top 3 recognizable faces in the country, the number 1 comedian in the country. He had 2 HBO specials under his belt. He had 2 hit movies in a 2-year span that was rated an 8 to a 10 by the critics. He was on the Tonight Show every other week. You couldn't get any more popular than he was. When I headlined his room from a Wednesday through Sunday, it was sold out every single show with movie stars, sports figures, you name it, directors, producers, a lot of famous people. And I want you folks to get the background so you can get the gist of the story. On Friday, they had 2 shows sold out. On Saturday, 3 shows sold out. Sunday, 2 shows sold out. It was Saturday night, the last show. And I just finished my set. And it was a great crowd. And as I'm walking off the stage, who's walking through the audience but Rodney? He so often would do that. And the audience went absolute. Eric, you should have seen them. They went ballistic. And they're screaming. And he's doing Rodney. He's going, hey, how you doing, baby? All right. Okay. Can I love you? Yeah. The crowd, I waited in the back of the room. It was so loud that there was a ringing in my ears, man. It was just insane. And some people had tears in their eyes. And they're screaming, Rodney, Rodney. He's so cool. He's on stage. He waits for the audience to die down. They do. He does 10 minutes of new material. 10 minutes of new material. For his next HBO special. It's coming up in about another month.
Right.
And he does it, and he thanks them for supporting his club, and he asks them to give me another round of applause, and he goes to walk off the stage, and something happened that I never saw before, nor do I believe I will ever see anything like this ever again. The audience that was up front, they got up from their seats, and they surrounded the stage, okay? And they interlocked their arms, and they wouldn't let him go. And people were screaming, we want more, we want more. And then from we want more, it was, we love you, we love you. Eric, I am not exaggerating. You took his bodyguard and 2 waiters to get him off that stage that night.
Wow.
And I what I couldn't believe is that the noise was even louder than it was when he first came up on stage.
Right. That's cool.
So I remember I'm standing in the back of the room and I'm saying to myself, oh my God, this is what it's like to be a star.
Right.
This guy has got the world in the palm of his hands. And it wasn't too soon after that where I realized sometimes holding the world in the palm of your hands isn't what's important. What's important are the choices you make as you're holding it.
Yeah.
The crowd's gone. The doors are locked. The wait staff is cleaning up. And I go over to the bar, as I so often did when Rodney was there. I went up to him. I gave him a big hug. I gave him a big kiss on the cheek. And I said, hey, man, how does it feel to be a superstar? He downs a triple scotch, puts it down on the bar, pours it, looks at me square in the face and says, well, I'll tell you, Stevie, it sucks. It really sucks. And I was waiting for the punchline.
Right.
And I realized there wasn't one. He went on a verbal rampage of negativity on how the entertainment industry ruined his life, on how he should have made it 30 or 40 years ago when he was younger. He was barely 60 years old then. That's young.
Yeah.
And he just said, I could have enjoyed myself years ago. And I stopped and I took a pause and I said, whoa. And I tried to give him a pep talk.
How old were you? How old were you at this time?
Oh my God. It was 1986. I was 72 days ago. So I don't know how old I was. But I was younger.
But you were relatively young at the time in your career.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was pretty new. I was
Yeah.
only 4 years in stand-up.
Wow.
I was a teacher before that. And I looked at him and I tried to give him a pep talk. I said, Rodney, What are you talking about? Didn't you hear that crowd? They absolutely loved you. You were voted one of the top 3 recognizable faces in the country, the #1 comedian. You're responsible for launching the careers of all these comedians. You have 3 HBO specials now.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 hit movies rated an 8 or a 10. You're a household name. What else do you want? Most comedians your age fizzle out, but you're at the top of your game. He downed another triple scotch. He got low key, and he said, I don't expect you to understand, Stevie. All I know, he said, is that I dedicated my entire life for this moment, waited 40 years for this moment to happen. I sacrificed my happiness, my family, my children for this one moment. He goes, and now that I got it, I still can't achieve it. He goes, I'm telling you, it sucks. Wow. And as I'm saying to everyone that's listening right now, and I'm saying to you, it was the biggest lesson I learned in my life, and here's why. And I want everyone to get this. Here's a man that should have been living his dream. Instead, he was living a nightmare. All because years ago, without him realizing what he was doing to himself, he was putting his happiness on hold. He created a mindset, a belief system that literally signified, I will not be happy until I reach a specific goal. I get to a certain status in life. His subconscious, the genie of his soul, said, your wish is my command. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. And here's the thing, Eric, even though he did achieve it, and probably way more than he ever fathomed, he still couldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Why? Because, folks, this is what I want you to get. When you're setting out to achieve a goal, any goal, and you are consumed with this negative stuff, jealousy, envy, despair, self-doubt, overwhelm, fear, whatever it is, that crap comes with you.
Yeah.
It comes with you to when you finally achieve the goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
The point is, there's no reason why, I don't care how old you are right now, to make a promise to yourself that no matter what it is that you're trying to achieve, whether you're raising your kids, you're trying to have a family, you're buying a new home, you're cranking it up a couple of notches in your new business, you're taking the dog for a walk, it doesn't matter what it is, it's your right to enjoy yourself. Yep. And even when times are tough, you have the ability to shift your focus and the way you're thinking to what's working, to what makes you feel better. And the more you shift over to those moments, the more gratitude you have, and you will be creating a different habit. I'm not saying this is easy, but I am saying it can be done.